You don't actually need to watch this video. I'm serious. Right now, you already have the ability to master complex projects, achieve your goals, and finally fix your sleep and training schedule without any special tricks. It sounds a bit unbelievable, I know, but think about this. When you're just scrolling through social media, your brain is processing visual, auditory, and semantic information on a level that rivals complex cognitive tasks. Your mind is built to handle enormous loads. Laziness is not your problem, so why does your brain resist every single difficult task? And more importantly, how do you make it not just work, but actually *1 to work? The human brain is the product of millions of years of evolution. It's faster than any supercomputer, capable of performing quadrillions of operations per second. But it has one huge weakness: it's emotional, impulsive, and often driven by pure instinct. To keep all that in check, evolution gave us the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, willpower, and self-control. The problem? In evolutionary terms, it's brand new. It's simply not strong enough to constantly override the much older, more powerful limbic system, which is the home of your emotions and cravings. Let me be clear, your problem is not laziness. Your brain is not broken. The real issue is that your prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until you're about 25. And even after that, it runs on very limited resources. Scientists discovered that self-control works like a battery. It starts at 100%, drains during difficult tasks, and recharges with rest and sleep. But many things drain this battery faster than you think. Just one night of poor sleep can reduce your prefrontal cortex activity by up to 60% and put your emotional limbic system into overdrive. 15 minutes of scrolling social media, that can drain its function by 20%. Chronic stress can basically shut it down completely. And these aren't just guesses. Brain scans show these effects in real time. But the two biggest hidden drains are things most of us never even notice: unfinished tasks and suppressed emotions. Let's start with unfinished tasks. Every single one stays in your active memory. Even if you aren't working on them, your brain treats them as ongoing projects, and it wastes precious self-control resources just to keep track of them. One task isn't a problem, but dozens. That creates a state of mental overload and paralysis. Meanwhile, suppressed emotions drain even more energy. Your prefrontal cortex isn't just for planning, it's also responsible for managing your feelings. If you don't express or process your emotions, your brain has to work constantly to hold them back, using up to 30 to 50% of your total self-control. So if you're dealing with anger, frustration, or anxiety every single day, you're operating at half capacity without even knowing it. That's why the very first step is to remove these drains. Start with your unfinished tasks. Get a notebook or open a notes app and write down every single task that is taking up space in your mind. Until you get it out of your head, your brain will keep trying to remember it, over and over again. Once you have your list, sort every task into one of 3 groups. Do it immediately, schedule it, or delete it. Anything that takes less than 15 minutes, just do it right now. Get it over with. Anything that takes longer, put it on your calendar with a specific date and time. And anything that's not actually important, just delete it. Your goal is to clear that list completely, because every unfinished task is chipping away at your cognitive capacity. Next, you have to deal with suppressed emotions. You can't just delete feelings, you have to release them. 3 methods work best here: physical activity, writing, and direct expression. Exercise is fantastic for reducing the stress hormone cortisol and freeing up mental resources. Writing down your feelings for a few minutes each day has been shown to reduce limbic system activity by 20 to 30%. And direct expression, calmly and respectfully addressing the actual source of your stress, can eliminate that emotional pressure at its root. Once you unload both your tasks and your emotions, you'll finally feel just how overloaded you truly were. But clearing out the mental clutter is only the first step. Your prefrontal cortex still needs to be restored. All that stress and overload have physically weakened its neural circuits, so after you unload, you have to rebuild those connections. Supplements can help a little, but they won't do much unless your body can actually deliver those nutrients to your brain. The foundation of restoration is simple: movement. Walking improves blood circulation and stimulates the organs responsible for producing key neurotransmitters. Even a brisk 20-minute walk can increase blood flow to your prefrontal cortex by 15%. Most people also breathe incorrectly. A tight diaphragm and shallow, chest-based breathing reduce oxygen flow to the brain, causing a state of chronic mild hypoxia. In other words, you're literally starving your brain of oxygen. Learning to breathe properly from your diaphragm is absolutely essential for better cognitive function. Now, once your brain is restored, you get to the final and most exciting step: training your prefrontal cortex. You can actually strengthen it just like a muscle, and here are 3 powerful practices to do it. First, 90-minute focus sprints. Choose a difficult task and work on it for 90 minutes without any distractions. No phone, no notifications, nothing. Studies show these long, focused blocks maximize prefrontal activation and stimulate the growth of new neural pathways. If 90 minutes feels too long, start with 45 and build up from there. Second, after each focus sprint, practice controlled breathing for about 15 minutes. A simple pattern is to inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 6 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This technique calms your limbic system and helps your brain consolidate the new connections you just built. Third, train delayed gratification. This one is huge. Whenever you feel the impulse to check your phone, grab a sugary snack, or do anything for a quick dopamine hit, just force yourself to wait 10 minutes. Over time, extend that delay. Each time you successfully delay gratification, you strengthen the neural circuits responsible for self-control. By removing mental overload, restoring your brain's resources, and actively training your prefrontal cortex, you can regain full control over your mind. People with a healthy, well-functioning brain aren't lazy, they're simply operating with their full cognitive capacity. And now, you can too. Thanks for watching.